Well, good evening. Took a short little break there just to gather my wits. Hope you've returned us for chapter 5. We teach the cat a lesson about life. Now, this is, of course, Hank the Cowdog, The Case of the Vampire Cat by John R. Erickson. So thankful for Maverick Books allowing them to be read live to everyone. This is something that's not usually done, but in this time of the pandemic, the Maverick Books people, the publishing company of Hank the Cowdog, said they thought it was important that Hank could help out for both education and for entertainment, and here we are. So, Chapter 5, Hank the Cowdog, Case of the Vampire Cat. Chapter 5, we teach the cat a valuable lesson. Now, after entering all the information from Drover about the incident into my database, I drifted back to the cake house and watched Slim loading stacks of cake into the camo stealth. And, by the way, when I speak of cake, I'm not talking about birthday cake or wedding cake or some other kind of cake made with icing. I'm talking about cake in the ranchy sense of the word. Well, it's cow feed. Cubes of feed that are made out of compost cottonwood seed. Ours is called 39% protein cottonseed cake. And it came in 50-pound bags, all right? We start feeding the cake to the cows after the first frost comes by, because after that, the grass begins to lose all its food value and the cows need some extra groceries to make it through the winter. Well, it's pretty impressive that a dog knows all this, isn't it? Yeah, an ordinary dog in the wintertime just doesn't know all this kind of stuff. Now, on an ordinary day in the wintertime, Slim fed 2 pounds of cake per cow but on this particular day, with the snow and everything, he decided to kick up their grub to 3 pounds. Now, we had 200 cows in the Hodges place. Now, Slim was going to feed 3 pounds per each. That meant, let's see here, we needed, how many sacks of feed? I'll have it worked out here in a minute. Just running a little spreadsheet on our hardware runs a little bit slow during this cold. And okay, he loaded up a bunch of sacks in the back of the camo stealth truck. I really don't care how many. If you want to know the exact number, do the figuring yourself. I'm a very busy dog. Where was I? Oh yes. Well, I was watching Slim load up an additional undisclosed number of sacks into the pickup and so forth. Mary D. Cat was watching too. But typical of her pattern of strange behavior, she wasn't content merely to watch. She had to get in the middle of things. She hopped up in the cake house and Slim stumbled right over her. And over her less than 3 or 4 times. And he booted her out the door every single time, but that didn't seem to faze her at all. She came right back inside and started rubbing on his legs. Then she hopped up on a stack of cakes, and when Slim stopped to catch his breath, she jumped onto his neck and started rubbing on his ear. Now that woke him up. I guess he thought that a cobra had dropped down from the rafters and he felt that thing wrap around his neck and heard that purring from the cat. He moved a little quicker than he was accustomed to moving. Ran into the door jamb is what he did and yelled, and when he saw that it was only the cat, he reached up and jerked her off his neck. You know what a cat does? Oh, when you try to jerk her off your neck, she digs in with her claws. Oh, Slim peeled her off his neck. But he paid a mighty big price for it. When Kitty had worn out her welcome, Slim drew back and tossed her as far as he could through the air and into the snow. I was standing nearby and watched the flight. Her ears were up, her tail was straight out, all four landing gear were out. She looked like a flying, I don't know what, a flying squirrel, a falling star, a hairy rocket-propelled something or other. I don't know, but it was very exciting to watch. And have I mentioned to you that when cats make sudden movements like that, it gets me all stirred up. Yes, it's true, and it comes over me like more or less on its own, without malice or forethought or much planning on my part. There seems to be some mechanism in a dog's mind that makes him want to rush to the scene of a crashed cat and start barking, and that's what I did. And pow! Sometimes that mechanism gets a dog in trouble before he knows it. And I mean, I was just curious. I was concerned. I had actually intended to. Well, that cat wasn't so inclined to ask questions or take prisoners. At the first sign of trouble, she just loaded up and bristled away with her claws. Yes, I took a few hits and sustained some damage to, well, lips, gums, cheeks, eyebrows, the soft, leathery portion of our nose. But that was a small price to pay for the valuable intelligence information we gathered from the experience. Yes, our file on Mary D. Cat was growing larger, and each new shred of evidence added to our profile of a sick and twisted mind. The latest incident merely raised the possibility that this deranged cat didn't enjoy being barked at close quarters. Now, that's a sick mind. I mean, what possible harm could... Oh, well. And now that we know she would strike without warning, we fed this information into data control, and we got a new set of guidelines. Don't bark in her face. I never would have thought about that, but by George, it seemed pretty good advice. Stop barking in her face. Sure, okay, good job, data control. Now, Slim and Alfred climbed into the Camo Stealth, fired up the engine, and called for us dogs to load up in the back. I went flying into the back as graceful as a deer and took the scout position on top of the spare tire. Drover came as far as the yard fence and stopped. I guess he saw that the cat was there and didn't want to risk getting another face full of claws. Not a bad idea, actually. My nose was still throbbing. We had to pick him up in the front of the house. But the very second we seemed to be pulling away from the cake house, here came Mary D. Cat.
Wait! Don't leave! Take me from here! Don't go! Cheese! I want some cheese! A friendly face!
And get this. She came bounding up to the side of the truck, leaped up on the running board, clawed her way up, and ended up on the inside of the cab on Slim's lap. He gave her the old heave-ho and went away. My ears flew up at this, which kicked the voice of data control on. Don't bark in her face. Well, she was on the ground, and, well, we were out of range, and I overrode data control and barked with all my heart and soul. I love doing that. It's one of the pure joys of being a dog. It's where we discover the true meaning of dogness. We picked up Mr. Scared of a Wimpy Little Cat in front of the house and headed for the west pasture. Miss Kitty followed us for a ways, yowling,
Meow! Meow! cheese, a friendly face.
I moved to the back of the truck and gave her my final words. It serves you right for being so hateful, you little snot. Go catch a mouse. That's all you're here for anyways. And always remember that Hank the Cowdog does not take trash off of the cats. Even Drover got in on the deal. Yeah, and me too. And now I bet you're sorry for being so mean. Well said, Drover. And I hope you get fleas and ringworms. Oh, good shot, son. You really got her with that one. Grinning and barking and sticking out our tongues at her, we watched until she disappeared in the distance. Well, Drover, we've notched up another victory over a cat. Yeah, I guess so, but she sure slapped the fire out of me. Don't worry about it, son. The important thing is here, once again, superior dog intelligence has triumphed over the forces of kittydom. He rubbed a bloody spot on his nose, and I, rubbed a bloody spot on my nose too, as caused no doubt by dangerous cockleburrs. Yes, of course, it was the cockleburrs. I wonder what her got so all worked up. I mean, all I did was ask her about sausage patties, and she didn't even answer. I can't imagine, Drover. She just hauled right off and slugged me. I'll swear. I guess she doesn't like sausages. Don't try to find intelligent reasoning for the behavior of a cat, Drover. They're all nutty, and this one's even muddier than the most. Just forget about it. It's water under the dam. Now, we turned our attention to more important matters, such as the feed run and the snowstorm, and making it up that long, steep hill west of the house. The road was slick and covered with snow, and don't you see, and making it up that long, steep hill would have been no easy deal even in dry weather, but that's why we switched over to the camo stealth truck, right? Up front, Slim and little Alfred were having a good time. Slim threw the truck into four-wheel drive and first gear and hit that hill on a good head of steam, and let me tell you fellers, the old camo stealth just ate up that hill. The engine roared, mud flew up on all four wheels, and above it all I could hear little Alfred making truck sounds of his own. A-nuddin, a-nuddin, a-nuddin. I was up in scout position again, checking out the country ahead and let my ears just blow in the wind. Say, this was fun. What more could a ranch dog ask of life? This is true cowdog happiness. Now, it was there that I happened to caught the sight of two brown shadows that darted across the road in front of us. Could they be? Yes, they were coyotes, perhaps two brothers I had known in bygone days. They stopped in some bushes on the left-hand side of the road, and as we roared past them, I got a good look at their faces, and yes, it was Rip and Snort. Well, I was feeling rather expensive and full of myself, you might say. I being motorized and they being afoot. And perhaps I said some things that would have been better left unsaid. You know how it is when you pass some guys walking? Sometimes you just can't resist the temptation to mouth off. And I did. Mouth off, that is, not resist the temptation. Hey, you guys need a ride? Well, catch a taxi. Too bad you don't have a camo stealth army truck to ride around in. I stuck my tongue out at him. Take that there. And furthermore, your mama wears gunny sack underpants. Yes, well, perhaps it was a little childish, but it was also fun. And there's more to life than work and worry. A guy has got to have a little fun every now and then, even if it's the head of ranch security. There was only one little problem with this interlude of fun. At that very moment, Slim made a hard left turn and something very bad happened. Well, that's all of chapter 5. Tomorrow night, chapter 6, the very bad something that happened. Hope you can join me tomorrow night. We'll try to have Hank live at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Thank you so much for joining in. Appreciate every one of you. Be kind. Love one another. Be safe. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.